Alright, what's up everyone? In this video today, I'm going to be continuing my series detailing with some of the interesting and unique circumstances that a trap shooter can find themselves in and how to overcome them. In this video, I'm going to be talking about that guy. Is in the guy that for whatever reason is doing something that is kind of distracting whenever you're trying to shoot. Most of the time it's unintentional, but nonetheless you have to know how to deal with it as a shooter. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so one of the interesting things about shooting is the human element, because it's not just an individual sport. You know, it is an individual sport in the sense of you're competing individually, but it's not, because you also have people that are out there on the line shooting with you, as well as a scorekeeper element, a shoot management element. So there's very much that human element there that you're interacting with other people while you're on the line. So one of the things that you have to learn to do in order to be a really good shooter is to stay focused on what you need to do. So in those interactions with other people, different personalities have the ability to stay focused. You know, you're gonna run into that guy that is shooting so fast it just blows your mind, and it's all you can do to keep from laughing, because he's like bang bang and you're like, how is he even seeing the target? Like, it's 5 foot from the house. Like, I mean, I've been there before. It's crazy some of the stuff you see. I've seen people up on the line literally dancing to the music they're listening to. I've had guys singing beside me. You know, guys just throwing shells because they're furious. And then, of course, you also have the guy that comes up to you real close and talks to you while you're trying to get your game plan. And he's like really close up to you, telling you his life story and everything, which is really fun and, you know, exciting and everything. But you also have to learn how to deal with that in your preparation. And all of these things are good-natured. You know, there's nothing wrong with like dancing to music or shooting fast. I'm not saying that's necessarily the best approach to shooting, but I mean, I guess if you want to try to do it, then you know, go for it. But so there's nothing wrong with these things in the sense of them being like absolutely wrong, but it is something you have to learn how to deal with, how to stay focused on your game plan. And you know, you're not going to have the ability every time to go sit by yourself that's what your pre-tournament, pre-event game plan is, if you will. Sometimes you're going to have someone come up to you and visit, or you're going to have a shoot manager if you're preparing for a shoot-off that needs to discuss some things with you. So you have to have the contingency plan in your mind that, okay, you know, it's fine. You have to almost be unflappable, if you will, where you don't let those little things bother you. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, is how do you overcome these things? You know, whenever if you're somebody that kind of likes to be a loner before you shoot, and you have that guy that comes up real close to you and tells you, you know, his life story and everything, then you have to be able to go ahead and go shoot and do a good job. And it's really a mentality of, I know what I need to do before I'm even out there on the line. I have that routine that I can trust, that I'm comfortable with, that I know what I need to get done to break a high score every time. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to break a high score every time, but you at least know how to break a high score every time. Part of this, the major part of this, is having a routine that you develop before you're ever even in competition. So in your practices, you should be developing that routine, that practice, that routine that is just so familiar to you that whenever you go to the competition, you're ready to roll. It's a mental routine, it's a physical routine. You know, it's both sides there. Like, you have to have mentally, what do I need to be thinking about while I'm on the line? These are things that I need to be focusing on, so that, you know, as soon as I go grab my gun off the rack and I go up to the line and we start shooting, you know, bang, I'll switch into that mode that I'm like, okay, you know, I'm ready to roll, I know what I need to be thinking about. At the same time, physically, there is a very big physical element to shooting. You know, I've heard it said several times it's 90% mental and 10% physical, and that's true in large extent. I would probably say it's more like 70% mental and 30% physical, but that 30-10%, whatever your number is also there, and it's very, very big, very impactful in a sport where literally one target of 1,000 can be the difference between you winning and losing a championship, you know. So it's a very big 10%. And you have to have the ability to do things like to mount your gun the same way every time, to get your stance locked in, to get your hold point locked in. All of these routines, this is how you avoid the distraction of the guy that maybe is doing something that is either kind of funny or just unique or something. And like I said, I've never had anyone intentionally try to cause me to lose focus in all the years that I've been shooting, all the different guys I've been shooting with. It's been absolutely amazing, all the nice people that I've met. I can also say I've only met one person in all the years that I've been shooting that was a little bit kind of grumpy and edgy, if you will. But outside of that, all the people have been wonderful. But that doesn't mean that you don't run into some personalities sometimes that can kind of make it hard for you to lock in and get into that routine and to stay focused. So it's important to have that routine. I've seen guys that they'll put the blinders on, and I guess that helps to some degree, but what if you don't have a pair of blinders? That's where your routine comes into play. That you have to have the ability just to lock in. You look at sports, other sports like the NBA, where these players have all these fans screaming at them, and the other players and stuff are trying to get in their head. But they have to have that focus that they're going to get the job done, the ability to focus on what they are actually working on. And this is another reason why I also like to listen to music whenever I shoot, is to drown out that background noise, whatever it is. If there's a big piece of machinery going on in the background, I don't hear it. Now, at the same time that I'm saying that, I will practice without those earbuds every now and then, just to make sure I still have the ability that, if my technology, my equipment, my music earbuds go down, I'm still going to be good. I'm still going to have the ability to lock in, focus on my routine, focus on what I need to get done to break that big score, to really focus in on getting the job done that day. So, the people are different sometimes. I'm sure I've done some things to people that are probably distracting from time to time. We all do it unintentionally. Like I said, I've never seen anybody do it to myself intentionally, but I have had some funny circumstances on the line before. But just remember, most of these people, like ourselves, are out here to have fun and to enjoy shooting. So just focus on not necessarily being like, hey man, can you quit that? I think it's a good challenge, because I think it helps you grow as a shooter to have something going on in the background that you have to block out, because it helps you to raise your focus level, which long term is going to help you. So just focus on building that routine that can help you stay locked in, to stay focused. Maybe one thing that you try to add into your routine is whenever you're not shooting, so whenever you're not actually in the physical act of going to the target, you're just looking straight down at the ground. I've seen a lot of guys do that. So try to find these nuances that fit your personality, that you can build into your routine, that will help you stay focused. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. I think this is a helpful series because we're kind of covering some funny topics, if you will, things that you can kind of find yourself in a situation that is unique. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can do that here. I'd really appreciate if you did that. You can check out these 2 new videos here, and go have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching.